Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the ODOT Traffic Data webinar. My name is Mike Fitch with the Ohio LTAP Center here at ODOT, and we appreciate your participation. As we get started, please take a moment to locate the questions box in the GoToWebinar panel. During the presentation today, please use the questions box to send in any questions you might have. Looking at the handouts section of the GoToWebinar panel, please note also that a PDF resource is available for reference. With that, we will go ahead and turn things over to Sandra. Hello.
Hey folks, welcome to the ODOT webinar. I'm Sandy Maple. I'm the Traffic Monitoring Section Manager inside Tech Services at ODOT Central Office. Thanks for joining us. I just wanted to share and walk through where you can get all of our traffic counts and a few canned reports that are in the system. So we'll start with that. If you can navigate to this page, this is where we'll start kind of walking through the system. If you're looking for this page, if you're an ODOT person, if you happen to use this base SharePoint background, you want to click on the orange cars and trucks, because that's what we do. We count cars and trucks, and that'll take you into the system. If you're an outside ODOT person and you're at the ODOT generic website, the easiest thing to do to find us is to go into the search and type either traffic counts. If you type traffic counts and hit the search button, you will get these options, and you'll want to click on TMMS, and that'll take you directly into the system. Or the other option to search is Tech Services, and that'll take you into our Tech Services webpage, which I'll tell you at that point, you can click Tech Services. And at that point, you'll want to click the TMMS. This is our home page. So I'll give everybody a few seconds to get into the TMMS. So again, the easiest way to get into our system is ODOT directly through the SharePoint kind of major link. Or you can search traffic counts and look for the TMMS on ODOT's website, or also on the handout that Mike posted. Oh, we don't need the monthly variation report. On the handout, you could see this website here. We've also included it, odot.ms2soft.com. So here's where the odot.ms2soft.com will take you. It'll take you to this. And so you'll want to, the only section that we're going over is TCDS, which is the main data source for all of our traffic counts. So if you can get to that point, navigate to this. This is also the same place where the TMMS will take you. And I'll wait like 1 minute. This is where you really want to get to. And if you hear wild, crazy barking, it's because the Amazon man has arrived. All right, so we'll get started here. Hopefully you've grabbed this MS2 tip sheet. That's a really kind of helpful, handy guide. Feel free to share it. It's slightly out of date, but this ODOT-ms2soft.com, instead of taking you to this base page, it takes you to this page, and you have to click this first. That's the only difference. So anyhow, within this, I should let you know that we count anywhere between 7 and 10,000, kind of what you think of as tube counts, thump thump ones that you drive across every year. But we also count around 250 locations, 365 days a year, 24/7. All of that data is stored here. So the main ways to search are, if you're just looking for an address, find something that's nearby, you can just type in the address. This is obviously central office. And you hit locate, and boom, it puts that address. This is a Google Earth address search, so it follows the Google Earth thing. And you're like, wait a minute, there's no traffic counts around there. I just have a map. This is probably the biggest thing people don't do. If you go to Tools and TCDS, these are all buried drop downs. So if you ever feel like you can't find something, this is where you want to go looking for drop downs. And this is where you can turn on the TCDS locations, and you can turn them all on. Then wait, and the blue dots should appear. Here they go. Everywhere you see a blue dot, we have traffic count data. So we can click on, now the Zoom wheel works. For those of you that have been in this system for a long time, we've begged and begged for the Zoom wheel to work. It does. So we'll just grab a count. And all you do to grab a count is you just navigate to it. You click on it. You wait for it. Sometimes you click again to make sure it can grab it. The other thing to note is the number you see here, 5,202, parentheses 22. This is, if you're just looking for something very quick, this is the AADT, the average annual daily traffic, based on year 22. Of course, the system wants to be slow today. I will tell you, this is the time of year when the system is slow, because all the states, there's like 26 states that use this same system, and we're all trying to do our year-end processing to submit everything to the feds. So now we're all trying to click on it, if you're following along with me. Well, while we're waiting on that, I'll show you another little trick. Up here in this TCDS locations, the only way you get all the blue dots to show up is to make sure you have that clicked on. That's a big key thing. The other thing you could do here is you can show, the default is to show the AADT, but you can also show the location ID, which is kind of the assigned number to that location. But you can also show both. So those of you who use the system, this is a new feature as well, where you could see both. And it seems to want to be extra slow today. Hello? Well, hopefully everybody's gotten to the ODOT ms2soft.com, been able to go in here. You can put it, the other thing you can put in up here, and I don't want to jump up here, in addition to addresses up here, you can also put a lat long. Say someone gives you a lat long. The other item, when you put in an address, I highly recommend you put in the city and the state, because remember, this is a Google search. So it's going to look all over the whole world for an address. Come on. Grab it. I don't want directions from there. Oh, I just laugh. Well, let's go back. Sorry if that happens. Oh, we'll try this again. Isn't technology wonderful? Locate. This is like a refresher course already. And then you want to turn on the TCDS locations so you can select them. We'll turn on both. Let's see what the status page says. TCDS operational. Well, that's nice. I want to get to the cool stuff instead of just how to find a location. So the other option you can do is you can just zoom around. You still want to turn on your blue dots. Well, okay, we'll move to another option since it doesn't want to illustrate. Quick search, county only gets you so far. Community, I will tell you that our community data layers are a little sketchy. Located on, you can do, these are like 00070 for like Interstate 70. You could do different count years. Advanced search is actually where it's at. I hardly ever use this unless I'm doing a location. Unless I'm doing a location ID. Someone's called and said, oh, I want to know about this location ID. I can't find anything. Could not load this tab. Please refresh. Well, of course. Sorry about this, folks. Oh, I just want to get into one. If you could see my face, I have a grumpy face on right now. So let's 106125. I hope this is a I just picked a random number. I know this is going to be in Franklin County because the last 2 digits are typically the county number. Yeah. I think this entire webinar is jinxed.
David says 75525 was the ramp you tried to click on.
Oh, 75525.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try that. And I see a question from Ryan. Is there any disadvantage to accessing this data through the link in the Tim's roadway asset property information? So when you go into Tim's, we push data into Tim's annually once a year. And the data we push into Tim's is just the average annual daily traffic. If you take the link from Tim's, you end up in this system. And here's our timeout issue. Look at this junk. Let's try opening a whole new window. Not that I haven't already tried this once. Do you have that location 75525? Was that it?
Yes. Yeah.
Come on. I'm about ready to see if it works better if I log in, but I
And Sandra, several people have typed in that there might be an issue with the site at the moment because it sounds like other folks are also having some delays that are appearing.
oh good, so it's not just me at least. Okay, one of the other questions was, will there be an effort to include data from local roadways? We actually collect a lot of data on local roadways, and all the data that we collect is in the system, including local data. We will accept data from locals as well. Some locals are very good at sending us data. All right, what was that ramp? 76? Do you have that number again, Mike?
75525.
It's not gonna go, I bet. Oh, we're in. Hot diggity, we're in. Okay, now that we have like 10 minutes left, we'll give you the whirlwind tour. But some of these things you will not see. I logged in hopes that it would go a little faster. So some of these you will not see, but I'll show you the things that you can see without being logged in. So the biggest thing is some of our locations are calculated locations. So if it's a calculated location, you won't see more information down below. All you'll see is AADTs. And you'll see subscripts on AADTs. And if you want to know what those subscripts mean, go up here to this little, wherever you see a question mark, just like lots of websites, it'll tell you what it means. So for instance, we count every 3 years. So we counted this ramp location in 2019. We counted it again in 2022. So between 2019 and 2020, we didn't count it, but because we collect all across the state some permanent locations, we use those factors to adjust it and grow it. We do have some locations that'll say have a little number 8 there. Those are called ramp balancing. Those are strictly estimated based off of potentially a permanent location that's, 20 interchanges away where we've added and subtracted ramps to get that. So they're strictly estimated. But the big thing is you normally see this when you get to a location. You want to get your mouse over here, scroll down, and anywhere you see an eyeball, that's what I tell people. If you see an eyeball, there's more information. So we'll just grab one of these days that we counted. This was last summer we counted. We'll just grab this Wednesday. This is the actual count that was taken on that Wednesday at that ramp location we were trying to get to. And you'll be able to see this. In addition, you won't see all of these icons, but you will be able to grab this, which is this weekly report or this line graph or this bar graph. And you can also download, this is extremely helpful. You can download this in Excel. So if I download this in Excel, which is really good because that's where you may be able to manipulate things. Really, download it anyway. So you can get this data right out of the system in Excel, then you can do what you want with it. You can use it for any kind of analysis you want. And I will show you a few of the caveat issues when you open these Excel files. Come on. Yes, open it. Most of them are pretty good, but some of them have some, I'll just warn you, they have some wonky things where they've merged cells. So it's not going to be easily converted to a CSV, but it'll have all that count data and all of the information that you want. One of the other reports that you can get is a weekly report, which is very nice. And it'll show you right here, it'll show you both of those days that we counted. And it'll even give you a little mini graph. And you can also download that in Excel. And these are all available right there to anybody. You don't need to log in. Even though I'm logged in, I'm only showing you things that you don't need a login for. So, I know we're short on time. You can also, I don't think these are available if you're not logged in. We also have speed reports. This was a ramp location, so it's not that interesting. From a speed report standpoint, you can look at the year's AADTs and look at the progression over time on these for each of those locations. And let me show you a permanent count station. Any questions while we have Mike? This is the biggest thing, is you've got to turn on your blue dots. You got to turn on your blue dots. Here we go. Oh, everywhere you see a blue dot, we have a count. Whenever you see a C or an M, that's a continuous count station or a weigh in motion count station. Good. And these are what we use to determine the factors for the whole, to adjust all those short-term counts into an average annual daily traffic. Oh, one of the questions asked about intersection counts. Yes, we do intersection counts. They are in a different module that I'm not going to cover today, but if you go to the, I call it the domino, everyone has a different name, but if you go to the domino or the beginning, all of our turning movement counts are in the turning movement module. And we also have a non-motorized module as well, where we put bike and ped counts. So if you look at a permanent station, you can see we have lots and lots and lots of days. And you can go to the little calendar thing and you can see exactly what days we have. If it's grayed out, it means that we don't have a count on that day. We also have, some counts are marked as atypical, meaning that the count is accurate, but there was something going on that made it a weird day, and you probably don't want to use it for design purposes. We also don't include it in developing like our day of week factors or our hourly factors. So this was probably basically a snow day, I'm guessing. Mike has also put my email in there. I apologize for the slowness and the crankiness of the system. But make sure you grab my email. Feel free to email me questions or other things, and I may pass you off to some of my staff that are really good at helping answer questions as well. But you can see these permanent stations. Oh man, so these are all the days that we've collected permanent count data at this particular location. Some of these we've marked as holidays because we don't want to, you know, the Friday of Thanksgiving, we don't want it figured to be like a typical Friday in November. So we now categorize those as holiday dates. So you can see some of those things in there. But you can look at, let's just see what the speeds were on this section of Interstate 70 on Sunday. And yes, people, there really were 42 people going 100 miles an hour at this one location on Interstate 70. But you can also pull these down in monthly reports and in a daily report. So if you're interested in speeds, that data is out there as well. And we're just about right at our cutoff point. So if you don't mind, I apologize for the crankiness of the system. I will be giving MS2 some grief on Wednesday when I have my monthly touch base with them. That's tomorrow. But there's some canned speed reports out there. So this is so far in February. How many people are going, you know, eastbound, westbound, totals. That's one other thing. Oh, I didn't point that out. You can also break things down by eastbound and westbound, and it'll filter right down, like this is how many people were going eastbound at these speeds or by these volumes. You can even go down to each individual lane, how fast people were going. If you want to know what lane 1 is, there's again a little picture that shows you how we count the lanes out there. So I guess I encourage people to get in there, play around with it. You will not hurt the system. Unless you have a login, you are strictly a read only. You can dig around to your heart's content. There are some of these canned reports down here that are very helpful, that, you know, give you the data, the raw data directly. Pay attention to the subscripts on the count data. That's probably one of my other biggest requests. You know, if you see up under the AADTs, these subscripts here, know what those mean. This is a permanent count location that's been counting for a while. We also go, when we first went into this system, those of you that are looking at long-term trends at locations, we loaded data all the way back to 1984 for our AADT. So like at this location on Interstate 80 or Interstate 70, we would have data AADTs from 87, you know, all the way up to 2022. With that, we'll probably host one of these again, and hopefully the system will work a little better. But please download that attachment that Mike posted, and that'll give you a big boost. And the other big thing is make sure to turn on your locations right here, because that's the biggest thing we have with people. You can search by address, you can search by lat long, or you can just zoom around the map. That's the main takeaways.
Participation. Have a great day.
Thank you.